What is up, guys? This is We Love Gaming, and today we are reacting to Film Theory, Joker is a Billionaire, Batman, The Dark Knight. Now, it has been a while since I've seen the Dark Knight, as well as the sequels. It is a pretty good movies. They're pretty good movies. I don't like this picture that's in front of me right now, but alright. If you want to see more content from this, please please subscribe, comment down below that you want more of this or other content, and I'll most likely do it anyway, but still.
Pat, my son, we need to have a talk. Your father and I are very concerned about this whole YouTube thing. When are you planning to stop making little online vlog videos and get out there and get a real job?
Hey, look at me. Hey.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
Yeah.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, a show that goes into each episode with no plan. We just do things and hope that each step in our insanely detailed takeover of YouTube falls precisely into place. Speaking of taking over YouTube, today is a huge day in that plan. Today we are launching the first new theory channel.
Okay. I've already gone through a video that I made a while ago. So,
Or more accurately, description. All right, enough shilling, let's talk Batman. Or more accurately, the Joker. Under normal world circumstances, this is the time of year that I get most excited about movies. It's when all the studios pull out their biggest franchises and just create a summer blockbuster season full of weekend after weekend of killer films. Sure, they might not always be great. Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad was okay. I liked it. I mean, granted, yeah, sure, the Joker was a bit weird, but it was okay. I have not seen Dark Phoenix.
But they are always fun to go and see and certainly fun to talk about. But the lack of new summer movies this year has gotten me to try and recreate that excitement at home by rewatching some of my all-time favorite superhero films. Starting, of course, with the Christopher Nolan Batman films, just so I had an excuse to watch Dark Knight again. It is so great. I don't tend to rewatch movies a whole lot, but Dark Knight is one that I just always gravitate back to. I know that we have so many amazing superhero films these days, but man, this one still holds up with so many iconic scenes. The opening heist, the pencil magic trick, the hospital explosion. But this time, one scene in particular really caught my attention. The money pyramid. I never really stopped to think about it, but that is a huge pile of cash that the Joker has. As we learn about in the movie, it's some combination of his various heist earnings as well as half the collective income of the Gotham Mafia. And then the Joker just, goes and sets it all on fire.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message.
And all of it just to prove a point. So what I want to figure out today is just how expensive that point really was. How much money is in that gigantic stack of cash of his? How much work would it take to set up? And most importantly of all, what does it tell us about the true nature of this character? Because tell you what, despite the Joker appearing like this chaotic force, the money pyramid scene proves that he's anything but. So in order to calculate how much money the Joker is sitting on top of, we have to get a sense of the pyramid's general dimensions. From some of the pyramid scene proves that he's anything but. So in order to calculate how much money the Joker is sitting on top of, we have to get a sense of the pyramid's general dimensions. From some of the wide shots at the beginning of the scene, we see that the pyramid is composed of 10 separate tiers, each tier roughly the same height. If you zoom in on the highest resolution and count, you'll see that the height of each tier is about 30 straps of cash high. Now, I'm assuming that this whole pile is made of $100 bills for several reasons. Yes, during the initial robbery, I saw that they were only stealing $10,000 straps of cash. Also, when doing the research, I came across the movie props of this particular scene, which are all $100 bills. So, knowing that 10,000 $100 bills, we take the thickness of one bill, 0.0043 inches or 0.01 centimeters, and then multiply by 100 to get the height of a single stack. That gives us 0.43 inches or a little over 1 centimeter. 30 of those stacked on top of each other is going to get us just under under 13 inches, or around 33 centimeters. So each tier is slightly over a foot high, meaning that the whole pyramid of 10 tiers is 10 feet 9 inches, or about 3.3 meters high. We can also gut check this number by seeing the Joker standing at both the top and bottom of the pile. Heath Ledger, the actor who played the Joker, was just over 6 foot tall, meaning that the tower should be roughly twice his height, a little bit less, and yeah, that looks about right. For reference, that makes Joker's money pile approximately the same height as Stonehenge, except much cooler because it's literally comprised of money as opposed to rocks that aliens decided to throw together for no apparent reason. So that's the height, but what about the width? Well, width in this case is also pretty easy. All we have to do again is count the straps of cash. Once we do that, knowing that a typical $100 bill is 6 inches long or 15 centimeters long, we can calculate the width of each tier going up, which starts at about 20 feet or 6 meters at its base, and step by step gets smaller and smaller. 18 feet, 16 feet, 14 feet, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and finally 7, all of which I've marked on screen for you. And with those dimensions out of the way, we can finally start to figure out how much cash is actually in this thing. Let's start with the bottom, shall we? Since the process is the same all the way up the pyramid. Based on our counting, as well as the dimensions of a $100 bill, the bottom tier is made of 39 stacks of cash long and 92 stacks of cash wide. This means that there are 107,640 stacks of cash on this bottom tier alone, all of which are $10,000 apiece. That is $1 billion. $1,076,400,000 to be exact. And that is only for the first level of the pyramid. Joker is a billionaire, and we've barely gotten off the ground in a literal and figurative sense. Now, this number seemed way too big for me, so I tried it a different way. We know that the bottom level is roughly 20 foot by 20 foot, and we know the height of that bottom level. So I calculated the volume of that, which ended up being about 748,800 cubic inches, and divided by the volume of a single $100 bill, which is about 0.0689 cubic inches, to see how many bills would be needed to fill that bottom tier's volume. The results? Nearly 11 million $100 bills, meaning that, again, the total amount of cash is roughly around $1.1 billion. After After doing that same process 9 more times for the rest of the pyramid, I concluded the final result to be 468,000 straps of cash, creating the eye-watering grand total of $4,688,000,000.
Two-bit whack job. Wears a cheap purple suit and makeup.
The suit, it wasn't cheap. You ought to know, you bought it.
That puts the Joker, no joke, into the top 100 richest people in the US right now, alongside Oprah Winfrey. That's right, next time you're hanging out with your comics buddies, quiz them on what the Joker has in common with Oprah. Bet they're not gonna guess that one. Now, could there be some wooden structure underneath, like how they display fruit in a grocery store? Sure, maybe, but I'm not convinced that there is. Look at when the Joker slides down the pyramid. There are stacks of cash deep within this structure. Plus, consider the weight of all this money. That amount of cash would
I'll react to this later.
weigh 51 tons, 102,000 pounds of pure money. No street goons are going to be able to run down to the local Home Depot and architect together something to hold that amount of weight so quickly. I think it's gotta be pure cash. But as you can imagine, I was still skeptical, as I have no doubt you are too. That is an insane amount of money. And I've learned from doing these episodes for nearly 10 years that sometimes my math yields numbers that, if I don't gut check them, get me burned in the comments. Except here's the thing, the reality of this situation holds firm. Let's start by covering how he acquired the billions of dollars in the first place. Since the Joker is stealing from the Gotham Mafia and various crime organizations, the number isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. In 2002, the Mafia in the USA brought in $50 to $90 billion per year. And in Italy in 2008, the family there was earning an estimated 250 million euros per day via their various businesses. Man, that was a sentence with a lot of air quotes. Anyway, Gotham is a major city in the US, so it's not unbelievable that the ruling crime families would have billions spread out across the city. The thing that seals the deal, though, is is their accountant Lau. When the Joker crashes in on the major Gotham gangsters, we learn that Lau, their accountant, has moved all of their money together to avoid the cash getting seized by Harvey Dent. This means that billions of dollars are suddenly in one location, and Lau is conveniently the only one who knows where all of that cash is stashed. It's also worth noting that Lau refers to the $68 million that the Joker stole in the opening scene of the movie as relatively small.
As you're all aware, one of our deposits was stolen. A relatively small amount. 68 million.
And no one has a big reaction to this number being dropped, which makes it seem like it's mere chump change. Lastly, we get that shot of an 18-wheeler truck that's loaded to the brim with large bags of cash. If the first robbery of the movie netted $68 million in $100 bills and it looked like this, an 18-wheeler full of bags stuffed with $100 bills would easily be totaling in the billions. So the Joker's a billionaire who throws it all away, but that's to be expected, right? This is a guy who thrives on chaos. He famously describes himself as the man with no plan. So none of this should really come as a big surprise, right?
Do I really look like a guy with a plan? You know what I am? I'm a dog chasing cars. You know, I just do things.
Except that couldn't be further from the truth. Don't trust what a person says about themselves, especially when the person is a mysterious psychopath in a purple jacket. Throughout The Dark Knight, the Joker skulks around Gotham and continually tells people he meets about his origin story and his love of chaos, but look at his actions and you see that he is anything but chaotic. He storms into the mafia meeting prepared with a pencil and grenades. He gets captured on purpose and installs cell phones into his henchmen's chests just to blow them up at the perfect moment so he can escape with Lau. He arranges that opening heist with such pinpoint timing that a bus bursts through the bank wall at precisely the time he planned. Over and over and over throughout this movie, we're presented with the classic, "Look at me, I'm insane" bit. But reading between the lines, it's immediately obvious that it's all an act. And the money pyramid is the best example of this. Because this scene isn't just about a massive stack of cash, it's about a massive amount of time, precision, and organization. Arranging the money in a pyramid like this is not easy. As we see, the money is being kept in loose sacks, so it's up to the henchmen to piece it all together, and time is against them. After the Joker escapes from the police department, the sun is rising, and we see Batman brooding over the still burning remains of the factory where Rachel died. He drops off Dent's coin at the hospital later that day, then he goes back to his penthouse and mourns the loss of Rachel. The next day, Gordon visits Dent in the hospital, and we cut to cars pulling up to the boatyard with the sun directly above them. So we know the goons had between 12 and 36 hours max to build this thing. Assuming that the Joker has 16 henchmen working on it, all laying down 60 straps of cash.
I mean, yeah, they're going to have to do that very quickly in order to get the result that they got.
Per minute, say 1 per second, which is already assuming a lot, to lay down over 100,000 straps of cash for just the first tier alone, you're looking at 2 hours of solid work, and that is the easy layer. From that point forward, you're either climbing on the work that you've already done, or you're using heavy machinery like forklifts and cherry pickers, which is just going to slow down the entire process. The website Movies, Films, and Flicks estimates that it took 16 henchmen 27 hours in total to construct that giant pyramid. Around-the-clock day of work to build this thing, and for what? He literally builds an 11-foot tall pyramid of cash so that one person can see it burn. The whole scene is so precisely practiced that the Joker only needs to say the word gasoline and his henchmen know exactly what to do. None of this is chaotic.
I enjoy, dynamite. Gasoline.
All of it is rehearsed. It's all a theater show, a carefully crafted set to make a point. It's excessive, but more than anything else, it goes against everything that he says about himself in the film. He is the most organized criminal of them all. And that is why we've spent so much time on a topic that literally no one was asking about, to show you the true nature of the Joker. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And you know who's an even bigger comic villain than the Joker? Kool-Aid Man.
Alright, I'll react to that because I already know where that's gonna be. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you want to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, and simply comment down below that you want to see more. If you want to see other content on this channel, please comment down below what you want to see. Well, that's the end of the video, so I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you in the next video.